What's up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one, the only, Mr. Scott Savage. Scott, what's up, buddy?
I've been taking a little break from all the bolt gun Warhammer destruction. I gotta go back to good old Hyrule here. Get some more Lon milk.
Yeah, dude, I was in there last night. Okay, I touched on my routine, right? Like, I literally get up in the morning, I play Tears of the Kingdom. I play some point in the afternoon, and then as I'm going to bed, I pick it up again because I've got my setup where I've got an attachment that connects to the Pro Controller, and then the Switch docks into this thing.
That's perfect. I really need that.
Yo, if there's one way to play, I'm telling you, handheld mode this way is fantastic, and I've been loving
curled
it.
Curled up in a cocoon.
Yeah.
It's 12 o'clock at night.
I feel like I'm just doing a lot of wandering, trying to get from point A to point B, and every time I find like this little alcove or a house or a building, there's just like 1,000 people I'm talking to and constant. Man, I've done so much reading in this game already. I'm like, I'm getting tired. I'm tired of reading.
I
But
would recommend just skipping it a lot.
it
Skip
is
the
like
dialogue because nothing's
fast
really going to
forward.
change too much.
Nah, I'm still learning a lot. Like, dude, I'm like 15, 20 hours in, somewhere around there, and I'm still like, oh, okay, this is unfolding.
I'm still waiting.
This is
I'm still
unfolding.
waiting for control yokes and jets. That's what I need to find because then my building gets leveled up a lot.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot. Man, there's a lot to unpack in that game. There's still so much more to cover, so much more that I think we're going to keep kind of continuing to plug away at. I wish they had a better feature to capture some of their footage when it comes to the Switch.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like docked to my Elgato, which is not the most comfortable thing when I want to
No,
do things.
you're
You know
not
what I
doing
mean?
that while you're curled up at bed. Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. I just want to be able to do that quick. Yeah, you can. It's how you retrieve the files. But anyway, Scott, let's get into today's show where people can join us live over on YouTube at Inside the Game Official, as well as twitch.tv/theofficial ITG. But if you can't join us live, make sure you hit us up later. Those podcast services, thanks to our friends over at Fired Up Network. And of course, those TV streaming networks, you can find us over on Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, Rogers TV, dude. There's so many more other networks that you can.
We really have
just
to
look for us.
We have to put the list in front of you here. I would be curious to hear them all.
It's just a list of credits that just scroll past my face as I'm rounding it off. Dude, let's get into today's show because Diablo 4's early launch isn't going well for some PS5 players. Man, yeah, we'll get into that one. Meta reveals the MetaQuest 3 and, of course, more games that they're showcasing. Spider-Man 2's map is twice the size of the original. Oh, dude, we're going to be swinging for hours. Woohoo!
Yeah, that is not a small map. Not by my memory.
Not at all. Not at all. Let's get into it. Is Diablo 4 not working for some with early access? Sharif over VG247 had this to say. It's always a good sign when a game's subreddit isn't full of the same complaints about not being able to log in on day one. Apart from that, there were two major problems, and it seems only one of them can be blamed on Blizzard. The first is the most common and confusing because it occurred for a large number of PlayStation 5 players. That's the invalid license error, which prevents players from being able to log in. Continuously trying would also result in the too many requests error.
Oh.
Yeah, here we go. So here's Diablo's Twitter. We are seeing reports regarding PlayStation users experiencing invalid license errors. The team is looking into this right now and will update once we have more information. Scott, there's a combination of a couple things here. A, you need the deluxe edition or the ultimate edition to get the early access. This is just the early access portion of the game. The game doesn't officially launch until June 6th. Hopefully that is when things will start to kind of open up for those who can't access it yet. If you were like my brother and game share, this is where it starts to get into some murky waters because the game share component of it doesn't seem to be sharing the game.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a copy of it on my Xbox, but I don't have that authorization. I didn't give any sort of BattleNet information in that scenario, and that's therefore I'm not licensed to be in there. Legally, that does make sense, but it is quite a negative when that was the whole point of the deluxe, was it not? Getting in early access, and some of that is to mitigate the larger server issues that we are going to see with Diablo. It happens on every major game, and especially Diablo. So this was meant to kind of relieve a bit of the strain around day one. I don't think it's improved the situation.
No, I've seen both sides of this. I've seen some other people complaining over on Twitter that they spent all this money and still can't get into the game. Like they bought the game and they can't get into it. $140, right? You buy the Ultimate Edition, and you cannot get in early access. At what point? And this is the weird portion of it too, right? Because they've had so many other tests and stress tests and this, that, and the other. It's never enough until day one hits that something just breaks.
And I have a friend that educated me on the situation. Yeah, each Diablo, they seem to expect about 5 million less players each time as it goes on, and they don't build enough server side. And then, of course, there's not enough servers day one, so they kind of have to over time build back up to the number. It seems like a mismanagement issue there because everybody knows Diablo 4 is going to fly off the shelves.
Yeah, it's interesting. Diablo never been my kind of game at all, but my brother absolutely loves it. So my brother and I obviously have two different play styles. Back in Dishonored again this morning. Either way, it's one of those when you get into
Yeah, you're pretty good at shooters.
Getting into some of these, yes. Never mind. I'm not even. I was gonna go there, Scott, but yeah, you set me up, dude, and I let you down again. I have not had enough coffee this morning. I tell you, it's it's just every game launches. We talk about it all the time here on the show, right? Every game, day one patch, and the interesting thing moving forward, because one of the most anticipated games of the year is Final Fantasy 16. We've been told by Square and the team working on the game that there will not be a day one patch. The game is just done. You're going to get it. And this is the old way of doing things, man. When you had a console, you buy the disc, you put the disc in, you put the cartridge in. It doesn't matter whatever system you had. But that was it. There was no updating, right? But here they are. They come to the table. Diablo 4 does not work. You spend $140 and it does not work?
Oh.
That's a problem.
What do you think is going to be the reaction from Blizzard to that? Do you think everybody gets New Game Plus for free?
No.
Do you think we all just get a big starter pack, kind of bonus equipment? I wonder what the rectification will be, really.
Nothing. I honestly feel that there will be nothing done. This is
Blizzard after all.
That's it, right? Yeah. And I get it when you spend that kind of money, because I've spent that kind of money and things just don't work. Dude, we reviewed Gollum the other day, and I can't play any further because that game's just broken. It will not let me progress through. But at least I was able to play. I guess I was one step up above some of the others right now. But this is, again, just early access. Hopefully Blizzard will be able to fix this and get it rectified and get people into one of the most anticipated games this year. People have been dying to get into Diablo. And here we go.
It'll hopefully prime them up to get the much larger issue of server queues.
Well, yeah, it seems
that's a popularity issue, though. That is kind of a positive issue, a problem to have, because it means everybody loves the game and they're trying to get on.
It is a good problem to have, I think, at the end of the day. But it is unfortunate. But it seems to be more on the PlayStation 5 side of things too, when it comes to those who've actually purchased the game, and not just a game sharing mechanic. So yeah, very, very curious on that one. Dude, then we got into yesterday. You and I watched the Meta Quest showcase. The game showcase, and it was interesting because when you start something off, now they did start off with the MetaQuest 3 reveal, and we'll get into that here shortly, but to open it up, and this is where I kind of sit here and I scratch my head going, why? Samba de Amigo launched as their opening game. Dude, this is not how you launch a showcase. You launch with your big heavy hitters to get the energy started. And this is something you kind of put in maybe halfway through, 3/4 of the way, just as a little sneak in, and then bounce out. I get you got to show the respect to some of these games, but this isn't going to appeal to a lot of us. And when you start off this way, man, I was like, come on, really?
I'm trying to remember what was it that PlayStation Showcase that started off with?
It started off, Haven's game, right, with Fair Games, and everybody's like, "What is this?" Nobody knows who this is. Nobody knows what's going on. Yeah, I get it. It's Jade Raymond, but again, another showcase that started off with a flop, and then we get into this one. We start off with a flop. Dude, coming up next is Microsoft, and they start off with a flop too. I'm gonna retire this year because like somebody needs to sort this out. I just don't get it. But after that.
We're starting our own dev company if that's happening.
Just to set up some of these showcases. Yo, look at Jeff Keighley's shows, man. He comes out swinging. There's a reason why. You got to build in with the games, with hot stuff to get your fans, your audience pumped, ready to go. When you come out with this one, man, I almost fell asleep right from the minute it started, but then it quickly kicked into my favorite studio for VR, Shell Games, and I Expect You to Die 3. Dude, I thought
that fantastic. One that looks exciting to me. I really like the kind of attitude about the game. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and that looks really fun.
No, absolutely. Scott, we're just going to touch quickly on a couple of these games because they had, 18 games total throughout the showcase? It was a quick
16 or 18, yeah.
Yeah, it was a quick 45 minutes, right? It seemed to fly by actually pretty well. I thought the pacing overall, I thought they did a great job. Silent Slayer, Vault of the Vampire was next after I Expect You to Die. Ghostbusters, Rise of the Ghost Lord is coming this fall. Now, here's the other side too, Scott. All these games, every single one of them, Quest 2 and Quest 3. I was looking into that this morning.
Oh, it is every one of them, eh?
Yep, absolutely. So it's nice to see that they have that upgrade. Underdogs was there. NFL Pro Era 2 coming this fall. You and I looked at this one and went, Racket Club looks kind of interesting. Right? It's
reminds me of the ping pong VR, and that was full of a lot of fun memories for me. I like the idea of Racket Club. Mm-hmm. You know somebody's gonna just spike it off the wall 1,000,000 times, right?
Well, that's the interesting part. This one, you're in a cage, and these walls you can actually bounce the ball off of. Not something you can normally do, obviously, in tennis or ping pong or any of these games, right? You just have your net, and then that's it. But here, you can actually use the wall as part of the game mechanic. I thought that was kind of interesting. I definitely want to check that one out. It looks kind of cool. It looks like it would be a lot of fun. One game I think that caught your interest, though, was Vampire the Masquerade Justice.
Yeah, I have not played any of the Vampire Masquerade games, so this is going to be my intro point. I find this one looks really interesting to me.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Dungeons of Eternity came 1 to 3 players coming in June 2023. And then we also got into the 7th Guest VR. Pretty cool. Stranger Things.
Horror.
Yeah, dude, there's always. VR shines at horror games. I get it. I just don't like it. That's just me. Attack on Titan VR. Bulletstorm, I thought was an interesting one to bring over. This is by People Can Fly. Bulletstorm is an old title. And I'm very curious to see how well it lends itself to VR. And then after this was a quick announcement, which made no sense to me whatsoever. Assassin's Creed Nexus is coming. But look forward to seeing more at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase on June 12th. That's literally what they said. Why would you put this in there? Why would Ubisoft allow them to even say this? Why not just have that in your showcase so you can have all the spotlight? Or do you want to build anticipation? Because, you got me pumped, but I'm already an Assassin's Creed fan, so you had me regardless.
Yeah, I think that's really the move. They're going to step it up, and then maybe the Ubisoft Forward, we'll get a little bit more of a look at the future beyond this game, perhaps, how it fits into Infinity.
Sure.
There could be a lot more, because we didn't really see too much at all.
We didn't see anything but the logo, right? Here comes the logo splash screen again. Wow, great, thanks. So, yeah, look forward to...
Congratulations, you've made it 25 hours into the game.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be there watching it on June 12th, though, so make sure you swing by, because I want to see what VR looks like in the world of Assassin's Creed. Man, will we get motion sickness jumping off the tower for that leap of faith? Oh, I'm willing to find out, though, Scott. I'll take one for the team, buddy. Yeah. Asgard's Wrath 2 coming this 2023 season is an ARPG. 60 hours of gameplay here, they mentioned.
Yeah, incredibly long, and it looks to be pretty detailed combat as well. I don't recall Asgard's Wrath #1. I think I'd seen some gameplay of it specifically. Some of the gore, the ability to take the enemy at the knee is what I remember, and this looks really fun.
It does look cool, yeah. 60 hours in VR is a long time. Not everybody can do that. I tend to play VR in short bursts and then kind of go back to my consoles or PC.
Yeah, I think I go between 45 minutes and 90 minutes. That's kind of where I capped out.
That's fair.
There's only so much Elite Dangerous you can play flying around before you really do get sick.
Yeah. Dude, like I said from the top of the show, though, they did mention the MetaQuest 3 was announced alongside Quest 2 price cuts. This is Tom Ivan over VGC. It will launch this fall and prices starting at $499, which is $700 Canadian for a 128 gig headset. Ouch. We're getting into that price range, though, when it comes to the PSVR 2, right? So we will see.
128 gig headset. So that is, of course, the untethered version of this. This is not, it has to have its own onboard memory. That's correct. I have the Rift S. I don't have to worry about that particular.
Yeah, this one is cordless. It has the internal memory, and there's a lot of cool features too it has. But MetaQuest 3 features higher resolution, stronger performance, breakthrough meta reality technology, and a slimmer, more comfortable headset. That is the component right there. The slimmer, dude, it's like half the size of the thickness of the original. And that to me, for the MetaQuest 2 going to MetaQuest 3, is a step up alone, just to take this big clunky thing that you carry on your face and make it a lot smaller, makes it a lot more comfortable, right?
Is it I've never used the MetaQuest 2. Is it really quite heavy?
It does tend to weigh down after a while. I was in PSVR 2 last night, and I'm like, man, this thing, the bridge of my nose, the way that thing rests, it hurts after a while. I'm like, man, I was in there playing some Beat Saber last night.
you
But
look like you got a good tan on your nose afterwards.
pretty much, right? I always get a good tan because I got sunglasses on all the time when I'm outside. But either way,
Funny,
it's
you pointed out now. I can see it.
I know. Yeah, always. Yeah, I look like a raccoon. But either way, it's nice to see that they're able to slim this down and give us that higher frame rate, higher graphic fidelity, all these things that make it easier for others to get into VR because motion sickness is still such a huge component when it comes to VR. How do you break that? Well, you have to up the frame rate, you have to up the graphics quality, and all of this things tends to make it a lot easier to last longer. That's the thing I noticed going from PSVR 1 or even MetaQuest 2 to PSVR 2 is the graphical fidelity difference going from old gen to new gen and how much longer I've been able to last in there, especially when it came to playing like Horizon Call of the Mountain, where you are all over the place and you're moving and there's a lot going on in that game and it's very cool. But I was able to sit and hang out for a lot longer than I have been in the past just because it's a much newer in the pace of technology when it comes to what you're kind of putting your eyeballs into, right? So it made things a lot easier. But 128 gigs, $690 Canadian. Whoo, boy. MetaQuest.
That's a big one.
Absolutely. Meta also announced starting that June 4th, sorry, it will cut the price of the Quest 2 to $300 for the 128 gig version, meaning it will cost the same as it did prior to the $100 price increase in August. Scott, they upped the price and now they're downing the price from what it was initially. That's a dirty move, man.
That's what I suspect every time I see a for sale sign. 30% off. Oh, it's been 30% plus for a month now.
Yeah, exactly. They upped it just because they wanted to get ready for the Quest 3 when it launches and go, hey, by the way, we got a great deal going on now.
They didn't want to evaporate all their sales ahead of time on the number 2.
Yeah, no. Speaking of number 2, Scott, Spider-Man 2 will feature a larger map that's twice the size of the original. Oh, boy. Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming had this to say. When playing through Marvel Spider-Man, or Spider-Man Miles Morales, the scale of New York City that Insomniac Games captured was impressive. But, as the old saying goes, you ain't seen nothing yet, according to Famitsu interview with creative director Brian Intalar. The map in Spider-Man 2 will be even bigger. We've added Queens and Brooklyn to the map, which makes it roughly twice the size of the previous work. Holy, he said. These two neighborhoods are a bit smaller and more residential, so they have a different charm than Manhattan. We have prepared some unexpected situations that we have never seen before, such as battles using the river, which we saw in the trailer, which is absolutely like the gameplay reveal. When I saw that river take effect, I was like, yo, this is new. This is exciting. Very intense, very cool. Happy to see them kind of step it up. Dude, I don't want to chase cars anymore. I chased so many cars in the previous ones. I'm so tired of those.
Chasing boats now is going to get a little tiring.
Well, that's just it, right? We want you to feel that this is not just a sequel, but an experience for two heroes, he said. It also depicts the personal conflicts of Peter and Miles, so I hope you enjoyed the parallel but common story. Scott, super excited for Spider-Man 2. Cannot wait. When we finally get it sometime this fall is all we know right now.
Yeah, was that a fake release date that was revealed yesterday?
Yeah, somebody got me. I was on that one going, yo, this looks and then I realized it was Insomniac Games with the Z at the end. And I was like, no, that's wrong. Yeah, because I
put your glasses on and look at it again. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. No way. Kyle says jumping back into Assassin's Creed VR. It better be good, dude. I can't. Once we get it, I'll have you over and we'll play.
It has to be good. Please.
It has to be on PSVR 2 as well. Is what I'm thinking. Right? Ubisoft isn't going to develop. They might develop just for Meta, but I think they're going to put it on the PSVR 2 as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting into that. Scott, why don't you take the next one? This is more up your alley than mine.
Infinity Ward announces that Call of Duty's DMZ mode will be reset for Season 4. This comes from Cole Martin at Windows Central. Infinity Ward, the lead development studio behind Call of Duty's Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0, announced via the studio's official Twitter account that DMZ mode for Warzone 2 will undergo a full refresh just before the start of the game's 4th season. DMZ is Call of Duty's take on the Escape from Tarkov style multiplayer experience featuring PvEBP, and you must loot to compete faction missions while on the battlefield, and then exfil to complete the match. Players logging in at the start of Season 4 will expect to find their contraband, key, and mission inventories emptied as a result of the reset. That can be really frustrating because we've struggled over keys before.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make those runs, you want to make them before the reset. However, any sort of rewards you're going to get is also going to be reset by the sounds of it.
Why? I don't understand the reason why.
Yeah, blueprints, previously unlocked operator skins, and calling cards will not be reset. So there is something there carrying over.
Well, there you go. So there's a few things. Interesting to see how they're kind of keeping this going. Dude, when are we going to get Escape from Tarkov, though? Just over on console.
On console? Ooh, that's a good question. I think people have been asking for that for a long time now.
You think it'll ever actually happen, though?
I don't
think so.
Actually, I thought there was something talked about years ago. There's a Tarkov expansion that I thought was talked about. Now I can't recall the name of it.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, which is unfortunate because I think it really do well. But when you get in the world of Call of Duty, dude, they're owning the space right now. Call of Duty, we're getting into Season 4, resets everything. Warzone's still out there dominating the space. DMZ mode, I thought was a cool mode. I enjoyed that mode. And that's the mode that you, myself, and Kyle would jump into all the time. That was kind of my preferred mode to go into because I felt like I had more than just going in and kind of surviving against all odds, right?
A bunch of us could go in and do some work.
Yeah, get some stuff done and then, evacuate, which I thought was really cool. We were starting to see a lot of these DMZ modes, a lot of these extraction games kind of turn around now and make face, but dude, you're only going to have so many stick around, right? And it seems like Call of Duty is one of the ones that we will see for a very long time. Scott, what we're also going to see is a couple games out today. What do we have, my friend?
We have Street Fighter 6 on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series X and S, and I assume the 1, although it's not listed. It is also on PC. Super Mega Baseball 4 is on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, the Nintendo Switch, and PC. We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie, and that is on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And I'm very curious. I'm a fan of Katamari.
Not at all. What I am curious about, though, is Street Fighter 6. Will you check that out? Have you tried the demo?
I have not tried the demo, no. I haven't played a Street Fighter game in a long, long time now. So I am curious, but it will have to fall in front of me.
No, it's one of those things. I keep watching, and I keep hearing how good it is. Everybody's posting their reviews and stuff, and I'm like, man, this looks cool. And I'm into fighting games. I like fighting games, but I'm not Mortal Kombat guy, right? Like I'm more.
I like to yell.
Realm, so
I like to yell Shoryuken.
Yeah, well, so does everybody.
That's fine.
But yeah, oh man, I don't know. I tried the demo, and I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on here, and I'm just gonna wait for Mortal Kombat 1. The reboot, the reboot, Scott. Like, here we go again. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. This weekend, though, what are you playing? More Zelda?
More Zelda for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna see if the Diablo thing gets resolved, but we'll see.
I don't think you're gonna see that resolved until
I don't think it will.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'll be on more Tears of the Kingdom. I just got a review game in this morning, so we'll be working our way on that. You'll find out more on that next week.
I don't think I even know.
No, you don't. Until then, though, everybody, enjoy your weekend. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, and that's the one, the only is Scott Savage. And we'll see you inside the game.